Okay, 20. Oh, you're there. It's working.
Hey, Marie, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm excellent, thank you.
Good. I'm happy to see you. I was a little hesitant if it would actually work. And yeah, yay. Hi.
Hey, nice to see you. Let me
It's
type
good to
something in
see
here.
you.
Excellent.
I'm looking down at your picture and it's weird. Yeah, webcam is an interesting way of communicating.
Absolutely. Cool. Excellent. So where would you like to dive in? Are we live?
We are. I don't know. People were going to be watching, so I don't know if they'll just come. I guess we'll just see how it goes. Are you open to answering questions if people type them in?
Oh, absolutely. I can, rock and roll, all sorts of fun. So it's cool to see while we're talking compared to the first interview, which was just auditory. So yeah,
Yeah.
great fun.
And I'm just getting over a cold. I've still got a bit of a cough, and I don't have the mute button like I do on the radio, so we'll just have to
Yep.
bear with me. So we started out, first of all, we are speaking with Mr. 2020. He's from freeneville.com, and you might be watching this right now live on Google Hangouts on air or on YouTube or listening on CITR 101.9 FM in Vancouver or cosmicdimensions.com and powerradio.com or on the Co-Creator Network. We'll just cover it all in case I play this on the show. We're all over the place. And I'm going to link the video from our last interview. So if you're new to Neville Goddard and you're new to Mr. 2020, you can go back later and watch that and get sort of the basics. I have a lot of questions for you, and it's hard to know where to begin. But I wanted to ask you about, well, we're talking about body-based manifesting.
Right.
So
Yes.
maybe what does that mean to you?
Cool. I tell you where the term originally showed up in my experience from, right? So Neville Goddard was this really cool, a lot of people would call him like a Christian mystic. He was alive physically from 1905 or so to 1972. Taught a lot of really cool stuff when it came to manifesting, and there's some stuff that makes him rather unique compared to everyone else out there. And one of the things, well, the primary thing is this. One of the books that Neville wrote was Feeling is the Secret. And that right there is one of the things that gets overlooked tremendously because when I noticed early on with this, some people got results, some people didn't. I noticed early on with this, I would get results, then sometimes I wouldn't, and I wondered why is that? What's going on? I really love. I'm not like stiff and document everything, but I love documenting stuff and studying stuff and figuring out why it works. And this one phrase of Neville's really, really sums it up in a way that a lot of people miss. Feeling is the secret.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple different ways we can approach it and work with it today, which are a lot of fun. But the biggest number one thing is if you're going to imagine a new reality for yourself, quote unquote, and I don't mean just imagining seeing, being on the moon or something, but imagining a new you, a new, more effective you, a new financial you, a new, whatever it is, whatever the changes about you, Neville says you got to feel it. And just for openers, that's the big thing. Seeing a movie of you doing something is not going to change a whole bunch. It's good for some things, but not generally. It's not the most effective approach. Walking around saying I'm the best, I'm the greatest, that can help, but it's not the words that make that help. It's the feelings. So when we talk about body-based manifesting, the first thing is just really getting clear what matters most are the feelings that you're creating in your body.
Hmm. And so that's actually that's a perfect segue because you have one of the things you've been sending out every week is the money manifesting money lessons. And there's
Yes.
one thing here, I have a quote, and I don't know if it's paraphrased or not because it's based on my notes. Stop blaming anything physical. Cause is
Yes.
in the imagination. Shift your state of consciousness and your whole world changes. But if you
Yes.
blame the physical for your state, you're stuck.
Yep.
And so my question is, I know I've felt stuck. I'm sure a lot of other people have felt stuck before. They might not even be watching this if they haven't, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
would you walk us through changing the state and if we're feeling stuck, because what if we can't even imagine what better would feel like?
Yeah. You know, there's a couple steps. You know, I was really blessed to learn uh, a couple of things along the road. There were three things that changed my life: Native American wisdom traditions, neurolinguistic programming, and Neville Goddard. The fact that all three begin with N is fascinating to me. And one of the things that I picked up along the way is a whole philosophy of starting sooner. And no matter what you're studying or what you want to approach, you always want to start sooner in the process. So I'd like to play a little game with you for the benefit of the audience.
All right.
And the game goes like this. Marie, you upset me. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
And it's total BS, right? But the thing is, as soon as I say, Marie, you upset me, how much power do I have to change my life?
Not much. Yeah.
None. The only thing I can do is demand something of you because I'm asserting that it's going to make me happy. So if you change, I then have the opportunity to be happy. My question is, when I hear stuff like that, it's, is how's that working for you? Because it's not a good way to live your life. Mm-hmm. And this is really a big part of this whole manifesting thing, creating your own life, dealing with literally what you got so you can make the most out of it, right? And that is, if I say, I'm upset, now I can deal with it. Mm-hmm. So you upset me is one thing. I'm upset is completely different. As long as I go, okay, and the third question here is, and this is another way, this is where a lot of people goof it up, and how this ties into manifesting is so powerful. The third question is, how long am I going to stay that way? Not what's going to fix it. That again puts the power outside. How long am I going to stay upset about that? So as soon as we start, we change the comment. We go from you upset me to I'm upset. And from I'm upset to how long am I going to be upset about this? And you really get to make up your mind about it. I got an email this morning, and I could have let it ruin my whole day. I could have let it ruin my whole life. And we all have those incidents, right? And so I went, okay, I'll be upset about this for 2 minutes. I'm just going to run with this, let it upset me for 2 minutes, and then be done with it. And then I'm going to use it as a tool to help other people. And surprisingly, now it's showing up on this call, right? So the first thing with all this stuff, if we're going to manifest more money, if we're going to create change in our lives, and by the way, this also has to do with like manifesting partners and all that kind of stuff too, because it's so cool. The first thing I've got to do is go, you know what? It doesn't matter who's president. If it's Bush, Obama, Reagan, Carter, Kennedy, I don't care who it is, and those are just the U.S. ones. I don't know any other ones. But if we're gonna, you can't. There are people that make money no matter who's president. There are people that make money no matter what season is, and the people who make money no matter who the president is or whatever the season is are the ones that go, you know what? I'm going to make some money. I'm going to make a difference in the world. I'm going to create something of value in people's lives. And that all begins right here. I'm representing that here on Earth. I'm going to do that with this body that I get to hang out in for the next 50, 60, 70 years. And that's how we bring it home.
Thank you. Well, okay, so 20, you've been doing this for quite a while now, and you've gotten a lot of practice. And it's interesting you mentioned about the being upset for 2 minutes.
Yes.
Because I've been kind of upset in varying degrees for the last few days. And this morning it was quite strong. Last night, like I actually woke up in the middle of the night having this anxiety and sadness and about just basically generally feeling bad about myself. And then so this morning I was asking, like, what can I do to feel better? And it sounds like so how is that different? Like you're like, okay, I'm going to feel this way for a couple of minutes, but I mean, I was really stuck, and I went out with a friend, and I ended up feeling better, but I don't think it was actively because I was fully in control. I was sort of trying to orchestrate circumstances that might help me feel better. How's that different than what you do?
Cool. So I love the C word, and that C word being control. It's a lovely one, and from what I can tell, what we are is consciousness. What we are is spirit. And we inhabit this earth suit, the meat suit, the cool thing that I get to walk around in every day and go, wow, look at all those fingers, you know? So, yeah, I'm consciousness. I'm the spirit that's inhabiting this earth suit. And the problem is, at some point, I'm going to make a misidentification that I am the earth suit, that I'm something small in the universe. And as soon as that happens, life becomes about controlling something. I got to control my state. I got to control my neighbor. I got to control anything and everything, because once we start focusing on control, we've got to control everything, because there's only, all the mystics say it's just one big kabla, right? So the fastest way to change that is to just go, all right, my mind's obviously out of control. Yeah, cool. Yeah, let it do what it's going to do. However, what we're going to do is preempt that just with the question of, what do I choose to create right now? What am I going to create right now with this moment, with whatever I got going on inside of me, around me? What do I choose to create? And to do that, it might be useful to get up and move around a little bit and burn off some of those chemicals in the body that are driving you nuts. Yeah. From somebody who's had problems sleeping in the past 30 years, I can tell you, if I can't sleep, I get up and do something, and then that burns up those chemicals. So, the first thing is to really realize we can't control our minds. If we try to get into that control thing, it just gets a little weird. We can try to control them, but they're going to fight back if we get into that model. But on the other hand, we can just go again. Notice, I control my mind. There's two things there. On the other hand, if we go, what can I create right now? There's just one thing, this me and the act of creation. So literally, what are you choosing to create? It's 3 in the morning, you can't sleep. What can I create? I've got some energy. Maybe you write an article about not being able to sleep, or maybe you think about, who could I have on my show that would be able to help people with this? So you can take anything that's a problem or an upset and decide, what am I going to create with this today? And just start doing it. The body will get involved, and that's when the fun begins.
Great, thank you. I'm just doing, this is really only my second hangout, so I'm trying to multitask and listen at the same time. It looks like some people couldn't see, it was just me on the screen. They could hear you but not see you, so apologize for that. If someone can let me know, and let me know if they can see you, that would be really helpful. And if you guys have any questions, hopefully I'll be able to see them. I'm really trying to pay attention to you at the same time as being mindful of what's going on. So
I manifested this gorgeous black shirt. I'm assuming only you can see it today for the show. So I hope we can get the video working, because I've got a great story around this shirt and another one that just showed up. And nice.
Great. Oh, I hope people can see you. And now and it looks like it's going back and forth.
Okay, cool. Okay, when we talk, it would probably shift back and forth then.
Okay. It wasn't for a while. I was just seeing you like little. So anyway, hopefully it will work itself out and we'll figure it out. Okay, so thank you for that. And now I wanted to ask you, Twinny, about, I'm just looking down at my notes here, walking in the state of the wish fulfilled.
You betcha.
Now we're talking about manifesting, and so I'll just use money because it's a pretty common thing people want to manifest. And you have emailed about this on freeneville.com. You've sent out a few newsletters about it.
Yes.
People wanting to win the lottery, feeling like, well, all my problems will be solved if I win the lottery, so that's what I want. But what if the idea, because you've mentioned, well, you could make $1 million by having a business.
You betcha. Yep.
So what if the idea of doing that feels stressful for someone, like they get so far ahead of themselves and that sort of shuts them down? What kind of advice do you have for people like that?
Got it. Yeah, most people that I meet can't imagine $1 million. So trying to imagine making $1 million, I could imagine it would be really stressful, because if you're making, let's say, $10 an hour, and you add on a ton of zeros to it, you're also adding on, yeah, and if you're a little stressed about earning $10 an hour, you're probably going to be a lot stressed about earning $1,000,000 an hour. So I've got two thoughts on that. The first one, always remember money's the byproduct. Your money is always the byproduct. The people who create wealth in our society are the ones who realize money's a byproduct. If I create value, money will come. You can't help but experience what represents value, that's money. Whenever you're creating value in people's lives and presenting it in a way that they get that it's valuable. So there's something really cool there. The thing with feeling it, I woke up one day years ago and realized that part of what I'm here to do is teach. I love teaching. I love talking to people. By the way, I wasn't always this way. I was the shyest little kid in grade school, right? I mean, hyper shy. I couldn't even handle a record. I was so shy. I did a little speech on asteroids. I think it was in the 4th grade. And when they played it, I couldn't get in front of the class, so they recorded it. And when they played it, I snuck out of the room to go to the bathroom because I couldn't even handle that much. So, it was amazing. So, but I imagined myself at some point after that being able to talk to people one-on-one, and then my behavior changed, the body changed, the universe responded. And then I imagined, teaching really, really matters to me, because if I could get other people to get out of their shells, that would be cool. And so I imagined myself as a teacher. And one of the things that Neville says when it comes to walking in the state of the wish fulfilled is walking in the state of the wish fulfilled is noticing what your reactions are to the world. Are you reacting to the world as that person? So am I reacting to the world as that teacher? Am I reacting to the world as that guy who's comfortable in his own skin and able to talk to people? And that's the real big thing with walking in the state of the wish fulfilled. We're not doing, I've got $1,000,000 in the bank. It's, that's a little weird. But just knowing, I'm financially taken care of. I know this. I can create wealth. I find wealth. By the way, in 48 years, I've never, I've always had something show up. But when I focus on creating value, a lot of it shows up. So that was a little bouncy around, but over to you.
Thank you for that, 20. And I've circled creating value because I feel like we all have value in the world, and I feel like someone who goes to work 40 hours a week for $10 an hour, they may actually be providing much more value than their $10. If let's say they work in retail and they're kind to people and they're giving of their love and their energy, and that makes a difference in people's lives, and they go out into the day. I mean, that's much more than that $10. But yes. How do they transform that from because then someone who's making $10 an hour and living in North America is most likely living in poverty unless they live with their parents.
Sure. Absolutely.
So how do they translate that energetic value into monetary value?
Neville says it's already all been created. So there's all this money, all this wealth, all this stuff, all these apartments, houses, cars, they've all been created. So assume what you want is available to you. Assume what you want is yours. Now, I know in a way that sounds airy-fairy, but honest to God, it's so true. I remember when I taught karate at the Scottsdale YMCA years and years and years ago, and they wanted to pay me $7 an hour. And for whatever reason, I was young and silly. I said, nah, I love doing this stuff. I'd do it for free. How about if you just pay me minimum wage and give me a free membership? Well, they would have paid me $7 an hour, double minimum wage, maybe even more than that, plus a free membership. No probs, but I didn't get it back then. And so for years I taught group classes for $4, $5, $6, $7 an hour. And then I woke up one day and realized, you know what? I could teach private classes for $40 an hour. Because there's people that want to learn that can't make the class, and I'm really good at this stuff. And part of that was realizing, of course, that's possible, but realizing it's possible for me. So whatever value you're providing to the world, There's always a different way to package it, present it, use it, make it more valuable for the person who you're providing it for, your clients or your prospects. But it really, there's something valuable with just getting, you know what? I choose to have more in my life. And I'm not using the word want. I'm choosing to have more. I'm choosing to be paid more. I'm choosing to do this in a different way than most people so that more people are blessed, or whatever it takes. And you'll know what it takes because you'll feel inspired about all that.
Thanks, 20. Can we talk more about that, because I feel like there's something there, and I'm also noticing, like, this is something that I've been working on for so long, and I know that a lot of people feel this way, that they provide more to the world than they get back. And so what might that look like as far as a feel it real session or an attitude adjustment in choosing, so that the ideas and the inspiration does come? Because we're talking before about this feeling of stuckness, and when you're stuck, nothing's happening, you're not getting any ideas or inspiration. So how do you shift that?
Got it. So I'm going to do a little bit of a metaphor. So I talk to people who say, you know what, I imagine myself being thin and healthy. I say, all right, cool. How's it going? What are you doing? I say, well, I do my session. I imagine myself thin and healthy, and I get up and I eat Cheetos and drink cola all day. I'm serious. I get these emails. And it's like, all right, let me ask you a question. What would somebody who's healthy do? They would probably eat something besides Cheetos and not drink cola all day. That's just nothing more than empty calories. And then oftentimes I hear, well, but Neville says don't do anything to make it happen. Don't do anything to make it happen. Just do your sessions. Well, the key is your behavior change. Neville also says that it will happen in the most natural way possible. So whatever you want in your life, it's not just, we go to the end, which could be the $1 million. But if we back up a little bit, who's the person that gets the $1 million? If you can reimagine yourself as that extremely lucky one, gifted one, the people who are the person who people give money to. I've got a friend who I'm sure is going to inherit several $1 million over his lifetime because he just serves people. He goes out and he takes care of all these old people in his community. He does it out of the goodness of his heart, and he's already inherited a significant amount of money. He doesn't do it for the money. He does it because he loves these old people, and he actually writes about his stories. He's archiving their lives for the next generation, which is really cool. So when it comes to this kind of stuff, it's not just about what do you want, it's who do you get to become. Who do I get to become as the teacher? I don't want to just ever parrot what's in a book. To really teach, I try to share things in a way that helps people change their experience, change how they're thinking. Because it's not just the thought, it's the thinking process that matters.
So 20, in the interview that we did on my radio show a few weeks ago, you actually talked a little bit about the going from reverse to neutral to drive. So we've been programmed with all this negative stuff, and we're trying to shift that. And I feel like, I know for myself that's still where I'm at. I'm going over and doing the revising, and I'm still doing my journaling every day, and it's definitely becoming a habit.
Yes.
And yet I'm still feeling stuck. I'm still feeling like I'm falling back into these negative thought patterns. So what can I do to either accept the process or shift it? I mean, you're the expert. What needs to happen when someone is really trying, but they're just not quite getting it?
Got it. Skip. Skip. Did you skip back in school?
It's like jump rope skipping?
Yeah. So I can't do it on the thing, but when people are skipping instead of walking, yeah. Cool. Now the thing is, if you imagine skipping effectively, you're going to start skipping. Okay, you're not making a movie of your skipping, but if you're imagining, what would it feel like to skip right now? Your body can't help but start going through the motions of it, right? Anything that you can do to generate good neuropeptides in your system, do it. And part of the reason behind that is our culture, again, we're raised to, we put garbage in this, right? We eat the craziest things and we wonder why our moods are all over the place. And we move slow, depressed, well, life's a struggle. I've seen fat guys, 450, 550 pounds, skipping, laughing, having a good time, glowing, their aura doing all that, all sorts of beautiful stuff. And as soon as you do something like that, it changes things. So when we're doing this kind of stuff, feeling it real is important. You go into the state akin to sleep, you do your session, you imagine you're perceiving life right now as your ideal. And again, you can fall asleep in that state or get up. It's up to you. Do all that stuff. It's really important, especially that state akin to sleep. But also supplement that with, it doesn't hurt to eat good food. It doesn't hurt to get up and skip a little bit, because anytime you move happy, you can't move happy unless you've imagined happy first. And so, so imagine that skipping, and then and do it. And that little bit teaches you something. What you truly desire to do, your body and the universe will respond to. What you truly desire, if you're actually truly desiring to feel good, you'll move in a way that feels good. It just happens that fast. If you imagine right now eating a lemon and you really get into that, you'll feel the mouth start to salivate right now. And so I think, there we go. That's how easy this is. And if a session is any more difficult than that, we're making it about a craving and a story. And that doesn't change lives. What changes lives is, you know what? I know I'm this brilliant teacher. How do I know? I watch videos of how I teach. I study how people learn. I study how people teach. I do what good teachers do. And of course I teach. And so that helps me get better and better at my craft. So it's such a natural, easy thing when we just accept the whole package like that. And again, it just comes down to if you got the big things you want, the little things are you just want to feel happy now. So imagine yourself skipping to the point where you can't help but, hold on, Mr. 20, hit the pause button and go out and skip and come back, and okay, we'll continue with the next segment of the show.
Okay. Well, so that it sounds almost like, you're talking about imagining skipping, but what about, is it helpful to physically go out and do that? And I think the answer is
Yes.
probably yes, because you did mention that earlier on. Because I find I do my Feel It Real sessions in the morning and at bedtime, and I find that it's hard for me to get into that feeling, because I've got whatever it is I've got going on, the tiredness, the just waking up, or whatever kind of dream I had. Mm-hmm. And so I'm wondering if maybe it would be more effective to do to get up, listen to a happy song, and then do my Feel It Real session.
What's cool is we've all got our own little formula. There's the formula that I teach, which is pretty much just the basics, let's say, but we all have our own personality to bring into it. And I'd suggest try it. If you can get up, listen to something happy, or even just put if the ocean makes you feel good, put on a recording of the ocean for a bit and just allow that to carry you, just float with that a little bit, experience that state akin to sleep, let a good secret smile come on your face. And then, literally, you sort of dissolve into that peacefulness, and then you condense back into the session. And that's a biggie, by the way. You want to dissolve first. Neville says you become formless and faceless, and then you focus on. When you become formless and faceless, you expand. You sort of get lost. You dissolve. And then after you dissolve, while you're laying there in that state akin to sleep, you've got that lovely, just smiley feeling. And then you condense back into the session. Oh yeah, what is it that I'm choosing in my life? I'm choosing, lovely relationship. What's that feel like? What would a scene be that implies that I have that lovely relationship? Oh, there it is. What's the little micro bit that I can just grab and take away from that? And when you do that, your behavior changes. You wake up and You know what? I'm happy. I'm happy being me. I'm happy being appreciated. You appreciate yourself. And then suddenly you find somebody else that goes, wow, you know, there's somebody happy. I don't have to make her happy. There's someone who I can appreciate because she appreciates herself. And then that's when all that good stuff happens.
Yeah. Ugh, I know I totally notice that when I'm feeling good, that's when, I mean, you're more magnetic and you're attractive to other things. It's sort of the law of attraction kind of thing. I mean, other happy people are gonna recognize you, and if you're kind of like happy people are not gonna be attracted to that.
Yes, yes.
And so
Yeah,
I
it's
oh, go ahead, sorry.
yeah, it's cool whenever whenever you notice who would I be in a relationship? Who would I be if I'm financially secure? Neville always says when you define your aim as who is this man you choose to become? Who is this woman you choose to be in the world? And when you notice, you know what? When I'm in a relationship, when I'm in a lovely relationship, I'm calm. When I'm in a lovely relationship, I appreciate myself and what I bring to the world and what I bring to her. And it was just coming from that space. It's very different than walking around going, "I've got a boyfriend." Not going to work. Versus, you know what? I am appreciated. I'm loved. I have special people all around me. That one special person, and that'll bring those qualities out of you. That somebody out there is looking around, going, "Whoa, there it is! Wow, I got to meet her or him or you know, yeah." And that's how it happens.
That brings up another question, 20, with specifically with dating. We all have these, we're talking about circumstances, and if you rely on circumstances, then you really lose a lot of control. You're giving up your power. But people, I mean, we just tend to look at the circumstances around us. How do you not notice that? What do you do if you're in that cycle of noticing?
Wow. We can live according to the senses, or we can live according to the mind. And when I say mind, I mean imagination. Every advancement uh, in our culture has come from the imagination. Whether it be the light bulb, the computer that I'm talking to you on, somebody actually imagined these. I'm on a flat screen Apple computer. It's really cool, right? Somebody actually imagined that versus the old Apple IIs that I had back in high school, or what they thought computers would be. You remember the old movies from the 60s and 70s with these big computer things. Somebody actually imagined what a computer would really be like, and it came into existence through that thought form, essentially. Remember, the body is always part of the universe. So once I just lost the question. What was the question?
The question was if we're stuck in that circumstance, because I
Oh,
feel like with dating, I right after our last show, I was feeling really good about dating. I was feeling like, yeah, I know it's going to happen in perfect
yep.
timing, and it's just, and then I get into this online dating where, there's a lot of interesting folks on online dating, and if you focus on those circumstances, it can start to appear like that's what's out there, and that's
Yes.
all that's out there. And so I guess, yeah, my question was, how do you, if you're stuck in that focusing on the circumstances, because that's what you see right in your face, it's hard to ignore. So how do
Got
you
it.
get out of that mindset?
Got it. So every moment of your life, you're looking at it from some point in time. And this is so obvious when you stop and you start to notice this. Uh, every moment, while you're at the store, you're thinking about being at home. But while you're at home, you're thinking about what you'll get at the store. We're hilarious. Human beings are fascinating. So one of the things which I've done in a lot of workshops and one-on-one coaching, which is really cool, is, and this is straight Neville Goddard, but it's broken down a little bit. This current instant, while you and I are talking, okay, I'm imagining it from another time. So while I'm physically, my eyes are looking at you and looking out at the audience, hopefully, every now and then, because you're a little below the camera, right? So as I'm looking at you and talking to you, I'm also remembering this time from this evening when I'm sharing it with Victoria, because I want to share it with her and tell her, oh, we talked about this, we talked about that, and of course she'll probably end up saying, well, let's just watch it, right? But even while I'm talking or teaching, I'm also thinking about the end of the day. What are the students congratulating me on? What are they telling me was the best part of the seminar? That kind of thing. So even in the present moment, if the present moment isn't really what you want, or the present moment's whatever, if you're on the dating site and you're just going through the thing, I remember when I was on the dating site before I met my guy. Even while you're on there, I remember when I was on the site before I met my guy. No big deal. It's like when you're writing the best-selling book. While you're writing the book, there's a part of you knowing, oh, this is a bestseller. This is great. This is fantastic. And that's just in the background. It's not an affirmation making it happen. It's just background thought. Oh, I can't wait till people read this. Imagine the emails coming back. Ooh. So we can see those physical circumstances, and at the same time, we can hold in mind where are we seeing them from. And always see it from what you choose to have in life. If you could literally think about this. If you're on the dating site, you can be going, oh, this blows, man. I wonder what I'll be like when I've been doing this for 20 years. Click.
This is what I've been thinking.
Click. I've been doing this for 20 years. Click. So you got that down. Just go 20 years out and go. Just go 20 years out and go, I remember when I did that goofy dating thing. That was so cool. It was part of what I had to do to meet you. I remember when I was doing that goofy dating thing. Yeah, click, click. Lots of fun. Oh, that guy looks like a dope. Click. Oh, that one, cool. Click, click, click. So any point in time, you can remember it from your chosen end.
Okay,
And
that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's funny, yeah, because I'm looking, sometimes I see the women. Before I sign in, I could see the women, and some of them are, I mean, there's all different types, and I look at these women in their 50s and 60s, and I'm thinking, God, is that going to be me?
Oh, and see, there you go.
That is not the attitude I need to have, because I just feel awful when I think that.
Wow. See, this is a course, right? So this archetype of a teacher here is going, whoa. So we could literally do a mental attitude training for women on dating sites. Because if you're on the dating site going, oh, is that going to be me in 40 years? Oh, my God, I can't believe that. Every email or every click is going to have that energy go into it.
Yeah.
Versus just getting, you know what? I've imagined meeting Mr. Right. I can feel him. I can smell him. So, okay, while I'm feeling him, smelling him in my head, I'll just go through these motions, do what I got to do. That's all part of the fun. Because I might meet him on this site. I might meet him at the library. I might meet him at the bus stop. I don't know. But I'll just go through these motions and have some fun while I'm here. And that energy just, it takes it from a totally different thing. And if you met a guy on the site and you tell him, you know what I'm doing? I've imagined meeting Mr. Right, might be you, and I'm just having some fun in the meantime. So if you want to hook up, have a coffee, whatever, boom. And you'll come off entirely different versus like, I hope you're Mr. Right so I'm not here when I'm 60.
Please be Mr. Right. Yeah. It's a totally different energy. You definitely could do a course for that because there are lots of us out there. Yeah.
Cool. Maybe I will. See, that's the thing. If I'm coming from the archetype of the teacher, everything's a potential training.
Yeah.
And everyone's the potential person to be blessed by it.
I'm just seeing people have made some comments, and I'm just wanting to invite, if there is a question, feel free to post it, and if it fits in, we can ask it. And I know that you wanted to tell the story about your shirt.
Yeah.
Is that a good time?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Tell you, send in your questions, folks. We'll take them and we'll reply. We'll go into Radio Voice now. The shirts. So my great friend Dominic comes over, and Dominic and I, we move heavy things around the garden. He's literally a friend and worker that I manifested, right? He great guy. So he comes over, helps me every week, and we talk about things and do all sorts of stuff. And he loves this whole manifesting thing. And so we go to the mall to do some shopping, and he goes, "What are we getting today, Mr. 20?" And I says, "Look, I got to get 2 shirts, right? 1 or 2 shirts. I'm going on this radio thing, and I need a nice looking shirt." Yeah, truth be told, I just didn't feel like ironing today. I've got lots of nice shirts. But so I thought, okay, let's get a couple nice shirts, right? I said, yeah, I'm looking at a shirt, about $15, one or two of them, right? He's like, oh, well, we're going to go to Kmart or Target. I said, I don't know. I said, yeah, usually these shops around here have good deals whenever I want them. And so we were rocking up. We get to the top of the escalator, turn right, go 3 stores down, and there's this shop with shirts out in front with a sign that says $19. And I thought, well, that's a little high, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's not what I want, right? Yeah, I want $15 shirts.
Okay.
So I get closer, and there's one little sign that says 2 for $30. So I holler at the shopkeeper guy. I says, hey, are these all 2 for $30? He's like, oh, yeah. So I went through, and I found this nice black shirt. I found a white shirt as well. Retail, $119 each.
Wow.
Look at it. These things are made for cufflinks and stuff. I don't have any cufflinks on me right now, but they're made for cufflinks. These are gorgeous shirts, $119 each. I don't know what they're made of, but they're really nice. They're really comfortable. $119 each. That's $238. I got them both for $30.
Nice. Yeah.
And the key is, I just approached it all with a really simple little attitude. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool, if I had these for the show? Right? This is my session. I'm going through it right in front of you, right? If I had them for the show, I could tell the story about it. Wouldn't that be cool? That way people could see how fun this is. Because it's not, I will manifest 2 shirts. Oh, I feel the shirts is real. It's none of that stuff, It's literally, it's so relaxed and fun. And again, we can do it in a state akin to sleep, or if I'm up, it's going to be nice, relaxed, and fun like that.
Okay. Oh, I'm just looking through the comments here, and I'm not sure if they're coming up in order. Lisa says, my partner, and I'm assuming my partner and I get up and dance it out. It makes us joyful every single time. We just can't stay sitting when the other gets up and moves, which is awesome. And
I tell you what, disco is probably the most under-celebrated thing when it comes to Feel It Real, you got it. I mean, you can look ridiculous and have fun. Again, get those good neuropeptides rolling. Fabulous. Hello, Lisa.
Yay! But the shirt story, sorry, I feel like I'm bouncing all over, but I wanted to make sure I was checking in on the questions. It's interesting because I went shopping for a shirt yesterday, too. And
wow, are you wearing it?
No, I went in and I was like, I have to find a shirt. And I tried on 5 different shirts. I hated all of them, so I left. I figured I'd just wear something I already had. So totally different attitude of nice. I need a shirt. And what was yours? Wouldn't it be nice?
Oh, yeah. Now, isn't that cool, right? The universe gives you exactly what you propose. Your body gives it, by the way. Remember, your body's part of the universe, right? So your body will take you to the wrong stores. Remember, you're not your body. Your body will take you to the wrong stores because it's part of the universe. If you go, I need a shirt. I need a shirt. I need a new shirt. Your body will go, right. Let's take the body, part of the universe, to another part of the universe where we can guarantee she'll still need a shirt. 10-4, done, right? But I'm going, wouldn't it be nice to have the shirt? Okay? That's about the thing called a shirt, by the way. Now, wouldn't it be nice if I had a shirt because I could share the lesson? Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be good fun. So now it goes from the thing to the activity. And then it's really about the personality. The personality is the teacher, right? So, wouldn't it be cool if I could teach a lesson about getting a shirt, for the price I want? 1 or 2 shirts, $15 each. Done deal. And that's it. Wouldn't it be nice? But again, notice too, this is an advanced technique. We're going through thing, activity, and identity. Just going, it's not about the shirt. It's about the shirt, the lesson around the shirt, being able to teach it. But it really comes back to who I am. Who am I? Right now I'm choosing to be the guy that teaches this manifesting stuff. One with the universe, manifesting. Life can actually be fun. Ooh, what a concept. So, and we can disco every morning.
Cool. Disco. I love it. I have all these notes, and it's weird with being on camera, so I have to look down.
This is different, isn't it, compared to the radio bit?
It is, and because on the radio I can I can just like push the button and mute myself, and you guys
Yep.
can't see what's going on. But oh well, this is fun too.
This is great fun. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'm glad that we could do it at a time that's convenient for both of us, and you're not it's not 4:30 in the morning there.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, the and that's another thing you can't see me thinking when I'm on the radio. I'm like, I get self-conscious if you can see my brain working. But I have one note here. You achieved success in martial arts by almost instinctively walking in that state of the wish fulfilled long before you discovered Neville Goddard. And yet you still struggled in other areas of your life. So why do you think it is that we have ease in some areas and we get stuck in others?
You know, uh, I've got a chart at a website called metamanifesting.com. Everybody needs to see this chart. The chart will change your life. And what it comes down to is this. Uh, if we shrink down to something that if we're reacting from fear, anger, pride, cravingness, it shrinks our power down. It shrinks down effectively who we're being in the world. On the other hand, if we're approaching what we do with absolute passion, true, honest to God, passion, love, acceptance, that opens up the floodgates. I started writing articles a little bit about Victoria and I can easily manifest stuff for the garden in the house. Easily. We needed a wood chipper. We manifested that within I don't know, a day. We needed anything we need for the garden shows up really fast, and that's what makes things really, really cool because we love the garden. We're passionate about gardening. We're passionate about creating beauty, and that makes it easy. So when we talk about money, I'll go back to that because it was way in the beginning of the call, and this fella Gary Vaynerchuk, he's crazy about wine, and he's become a social media expert because
Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah, Gary's cool, and some people think he's irritating. I think he's lovely, but Gary brings up a really powerful point. If you're gonna make money, you might as well make money doing something that energizes you, because energy is part of the expression of life in the meat suit. And so when we're doing this kind of stuff, and when we just think about what is it that I want, what do I really want? You don't want money. You want what money brings, which is energy, freedom, the ability to do what you want. Well, you know what? Start giving yourself energy. Start giving yourself freedom. Start doing what you want. And you're going to notice all sorts of things will change. For me, the martial arts came easy because I was so passionate about it. For whatever reason, I walked into my first class, and I looked at the instructor when the class was over and thought, I can do this. And when I say I can do this, I was thinking, I can teach this. Not only can I teach this, I can be one of the best in the world. I could be world class at this because I just love it. I loved watching the way he moved. I loved the whole, philosophy behind it all. I just loved it. And it wasn't just for me. It was like I could change thousands of lives with this. This could impact hundreds of millions of people. And if you look, martial arts is a great way to transform yourself. So I just fell in love with it. And of course, I attracted all sorts of instructors. Throughout all the years, I put in the hard work because I love working out. That was all sorts of fun. But I also attracted all these interesting instructors out of the blue. I've got tons of stories about them, but they showed up in my life because I knew I was going to be a world-class martial artist. And I need to learn this, and I need to learn that. And as soon as I decided I need to learn judo, a guy would come to town who knew judo for 6 months. He'd get transferred in to do some consulting work for the local steel mill. And say, I need a place to train. I says, good, I need a judo guy. Yeah. And so this stuff works easy when you're doing it out of creation, when you're doing it out of love. Remember, Scripture says we're made in the image of God. God is not the controller. God doesn't sit up there and go, this, that. God doesn't sit there and some people think God does. I don't understand why they think that. But if you look at all ancient Scripture says, God created. So what we're here to do is to create, to be passionate about things, to create new expressions of what we are. And so anytime you're passionate, anytime you're coming from passion, it's very easy to manifest.
Okay. So that brings up, and I know we just have a few minutes left, and you've been so generous with your time. So a lot of times people think that if they are going to start a business, like as an example for you with freeneville.com, you've
Yep.
created this whole website, and it took, I'm assuming, work and dedication for you to do
Absolutely.
step 1, 2, 3. So how do people, what if people are hesitant or feeling stuck around the willingness to do all of that technical stuff, or whatever it's going to take? Is there
Yeah.
a middle ground where they can get that energy?
You know, whatever you can't do, I learned to be a web geek accidentally. I hired a lovely guy to do HTML coding for me. Long story short, he liked smoking pot as much as he liked making code. And so, you know, the more websites I had to make, the more stoned he got. And, you know, lovely guy. But he kept telling me, and by the way, I really love him, good guy. He kept telling me, dude, you got to learn WordPress. WordPress is awesome. I'd say, no, I don't want to learn WordPress. I want you to write code. So he kept saying, you got to learn WordPress. It's the way of the future. And so finally, one day, I decided to learn WordPress. And I fell in love with WordPress. By the way, you don't know what you're going to fall in love with. So always keep your mind open. I wasn't a geeky hacker kind of guy earlier, but I became one because I just fell in love with it all. If you really don't want to do that, there's a website called Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. You can get people to do anything on Fiverr for $5. If you got an extra $20, go do 4 Fiverr gigs. You'll have more fun trying to figure out how to spend $20 on Fiverr than anything else this week. There's no obstacle in this world. There's no obstacle in this physical world at all. This physical world is nothing more than what do we call it? If I was a painter and I had the little thing with all the paint on it, that's the physical world right there. Oh, the painter can take that and do whatever he wants to with it. And so, if you're really passionate about something, one out of two things will happen. One, you'll fall in love with what it takes for you to make it happen. Two, you'll meet someone who has the complementary skill set, and you both will just form a partnership and run like heck. 3, you can outsource. You know, go to Fiverr.com and outsource, have some fun, spend $20. It's well worth just the entertainment value. So whatever the proposed obstacle is, it's all BS. That's just an excuse because, and here's the number one thing. Why do people not go for it in life? Whether it's with manifesting or whatever, they're afraid they're going to be criticized. If I was selling, I used to sell credit card processing. And if you said, I don't believe in credit cards, you know what? Nothing personal, just a job. But when it comes to selling what you are, when it comes to really, being what you are and saying, hey, you know what? I charge money to teach, NLP, manifesting, whatever. And people say, oh, I don't believe in that stuff. That's hokey. Anybody who believes that's a knucklehead. All right. I've got the opportunity to take that personal and say, you made me mad. Or I can go, yep, that upset me for a millisecond. and just get on with life. So wipe out your excuses. There's no need for them. They're all opportunities. And just dive in with that.
Wow, awesome. Wow, that just opens up a whole bunch of more questions, but we only have a few minutes left that we because I know you have a busy day today. I wanted to bring up because it looks like people are voting on this comment. So,
This
pardon?
is great. Yeah, I didn't know you could vote. I know you can comment. I can't see the comments, but
I don't know. I see +2. I'm assuming that means people have clicked on it and want us to answer. So Dee has just said, I have a friend who prayed about abundance and won $1 million in the lottery. So I just wanted to share that and see if you have any thoughts on it.
It's funny because I got a guy. He did our 90-day program, and halfway through, or third of the way through, or something, I think it was, he won 6 figures in one of the USA lottos. Then he taught his friend how to do it, and his friend did it. Pretty cool. I haven't done it, so I can't teach how to do it. But I can say it's possible. So the thing is, if somebody else has won the lottery, it's possible for you to win the lottery. If somebody else assumed the state of winning the lottery, it's possible for you. Uh, but my big thing is this. I ran into a lot of people that do I want to win the lottery so I don't have to take any risks in life. We're
Mm.
here to take risks. We're here to really share who we are and what we're passionate about. And this fella that won the lottery, I've done a lot of calls with him as well. He's not hiding from the world. He just wanted to win the lottery so he could have a little bit more fun, buy another German car, and continue on with his process. He didn't win the lottery so that he doesn't ever have to work again or put up with a boss or he can shut the ex-wife up or whatever. None of that crazy stuff. But he just won the lottery because it'd be fun to do, and now he's on to his next mission. So whatever we're doing with this, if I could give like a semi-closing thought, it would be: do not do this to avoid life. Do this to engage life. And engaging life can be scary.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all right, because scary is just energized, but with a little bit of a label attached. So even teaching, I could teach just by reading from a book, but I'd be boring as heck. Or I can share me and my goofy life and what goes on, what I've noticed worked and doesn't work, and I can just be me. And is it a little scary? You betcha. But it's much more energizing than, here's 3 steps to manifesting. Number 1. There's too much of that in the world already. What we need is to show up more. And this stuff is a beautiful opportunity to discover who we are, define who we are, and to just show up and be who we are. And that's the beautiful part of it all.
I love that. Thanks, 20. Well, we only have a couple minutes left. I wanted to talk a little bit about your 90-day program because I'm on day, I think, 17, and I'm really enjoying it. But because just being mindful of time, I'm wondering what you'd like to focus on for the remaining 3 minutes.
You know what? I'll toss up the 90-day program for a couple reasons. One, it's a program that's designed to take you through a series of experiences over 90 days. I had a fellow write me the other day, says, "Can I speed it up?" And I told him, "No, don't you dare." We send out one email a day for 90 days, so you can have 90 experiences. Because it's not about getting more theory, got it. It's about, here's a tiny little exercise, do it and see what happens. Here's a tiny little thing, think about it today and see what happens. Here's another tiny little thing. Each lesson takes what, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. That's what changes lives. Do a little bit each day. Just do a little bit each day. And whether it's in the 90-day program or whether it's just read a couple articles a day or whatever, apply them. But do a little bit every day, because that's what changes your life. The whole thing of, you know what, I'm going to be a millionaire, don't bother. Double your income or double your savings. There's a little exercise that I teach called Attitude Money. Take $20 and put it in a special place in your wallet and promise yourself you'll never spend it. In a couple weeks, double that up so you have 40. Sometime later, double it up so you have 80. Sometime later, double it up so you have 160. And a couple things will happen. One, you'll never be able to honestly say I'm broke. And 2, you'll know what it's like to double your money. And when you start doubling your money, literally we've had people accumulate over $20,000 doing this. And if you accumulate a stash of $20,000, you can also double your income, because you just develop the attitude of, you know what, I'm going to find a way to take what I'm passionate about and double the amount of money I make from it. And then the fun begins, because we can all relate to doubling. Awesome.
Well, I just wanted to say I have noticed a little bit more money coming in since I started your program. Cool. And I go through my goals every night. That's sort of separate from the 90-day program, but I've been doing that, and I noticed that some of the goals I'm actually seeing a bit of progress on, and so it's cool.
What's your number one aha moment been? 17 days in, what's one of your best ones?
Well, I'm really noticing the perception, and I notice how I perceive things. I notice myself recognizing other people perceiving, and I actually had a conversation with a friend where she was sort of shooting someone down, and I said, well, that's just perception. We can't actually assume that that's what this person is thinking, right?
Yeah.
So I'm noticing that, and I would say that perception is probably my biggest aha.
Got it. You know, whenever we realize that that whole course starts with a little tiny story, and I'll sort of close with this, but that course starts with the story of a young man who walks up, young buck, 15 years old maybe, and he's walking up to two girls. You can watch, he's hanging out with his mates, he stands up, he's walking over to the girls, he's excited, and the girls look at one another and they giggle. And at that point, he reacts to something. He turns around and he goes back to his mates with his tail between his legs. And in that first lesson we ask, what did he react to? What happened? And the temptation's to go, you made me mad. The temptation's to go, those girls laughed at me. Those girls made me feel insecure. When in fact, maybe the girls were giggling because they were excited he was coming over. I suspect that's the case because I'm a little older than him. I've seen this a couple more times than he has. But this kid didn't react to the girls. He reacted to what he imagined about the girls. And the reason we share that first in that course is the imagination is so fast. We react to the world. Very rarely do we humans react to the world. We react to what we imagine about the world. And so Obama gets into office. Oh, I'm going to lose my business. Bush gets into office. Oh, I'm going to lose my business. There's people who've lost businesses with whatever president shows up because they just go, yep, I imagine losing my business. You know, this tiny little lesson just reveals how powerful the imagination is in the daily life. And when we get that, all the other 89 lessons just build up so that you get, you know what, imagination does create my behavior. My behavior's in my body. My body's part of the universe. If that's a fact, what else is it creating? And when we get that, the whole world shifts.
I love that. Well, we're over time, so I will end it there. Thank you so much. That's awesome. And I'm going to keep trying to remember that perception because it does, when we lose sight of that, I notice that's when I start to feel down and into those old habits again.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Thank you, Marie. It was a great show.
Thanks, 20. It was great chatting with you. Have a wonderful day.
I will. You too. Thank you, everybody, for listening, too. See ya.
Thank you.